Hi, Joe Freeman, Mike Richman of the Oregonian and OregonLive Trail Blazers 102, Cleveland 86. Yeah, I really just said that. The Blazers beat the reigning champions handily here at the Moda Center on Wednesday night, just like we all expected. They've now won 4 of 6 and seem to be trending in the right direction around the mid-season, which is surprising considering how they played most of the season. But a lot of the conversation around this game actually took place before the game actually started because of all the crazy winter weather in Portland. The Blazers and Cavs found themselves in the middle of their own version of planes, trains, and automobiles over the last 18 hours. They were both in different cities the night before tonight's game. We're in a holding pattern in Salt Lake for the Cavaliers and in LA for the Blazers. Next thing you know, their own wild adventures. The Cavaliers are landing in the middle of a crazy snowstorm at 3 in the morning in Portland. The Blazers are getting diverted to Seattle, and they're sleeping 4 hours for the Blazers in Seattle and flying into town, getting in at, what time did they arrive here today?
About 1 p.m., 1 in the afternoon, and then they took a team bus to a hotel in downtown Portland and hung out before the game. It was about as strange a high school-y type travel day as you could possibly have in the NBA.
Indeed. The breakdown, the Blazers spent 2 hours in LAX, at the Staples Center last night, left LAX at 1:23, flew to Seattle, arrived at 3:30, got to their hotels at 4:15 a.m., and then they departed for Portland at 11 a.m., got to said hotel around, 1:15, and here we are, one of their best wins. Scratch that, their best win of the season.
Without a doubt.
Which involved what exactly?
I guess there was some basketball stuff. The snow stuff kind of took the headlines, but there was some basketball stuff too that was important. CJ McCollum, 27 points, his 7th straight game with at least 25 points, besting Clyde Drexler, who was the last to do that in 1987. Evan Turner, starting to look like Evan Turner, or at least the Evan Turner the Blazers thought they signed in the summer. He had 11 assists, a season high, and the assists punctuated big plays. He had a key 3 to set up, or he set up a key 3 in the 4th quarter. He set up a huge dunk in the 2nd quarter, and in between he found everybody else. Allen Crabbe continues to just make everything he shoots. He had 18 in the first half, finished with 24, and the Blazers really locked up the Cavs on defense. Obviously, the Cleveland was dealing with their own sort of sleep deprivation, travel bizarreness, as Joe alluded to, but they shot just 34% from the field. The Blazers blew the game open in the 4th quarter. LeBron James, who finished with 20, didn't even play in the final 12 minutes. And this was Blazers took control of the game with about 5 minutes left in the 1st quarter and never trailed after that. This was an emphatic victory. Terry Stotts called it a special one. And for Stotts, it was a special one, his 200th as a coach. Big win. He said if you had told him 4 years ago when he'd hired that he'd win 200 games here, he probably wouldn't have believed you. Believe it, Terry, you did it. So crow a little bit, enjoy it. Anything else happened in the game?
No, not
That's
really.
it.
Oh, you know what was interesting actually is there was a big fear around the organization for fan safety with the conditions outside, rightfully so, and even more or equally so, that no one would show up for this game. In 2005, there was a similar situation. Literally less than 3,000 people showed up to what was then the Rose Garden to watch the Blazers. Tonight, a sellout crowd showed up, and it was I'd say there was at least 17,000 or more
it was
fans
big crowd,
here.
big crowd.
Very impressive. Quietly behind the scenes, there were high-level Blazers employees who worried that their over-under was 5,000 people showing up tonight. So fans braved the elements to get here. That was a big surprise. And now the Blazers have, with their help, I guess, a little bit of momentum at the right time of year. Next up, the Orlando Magic visit Portland on Friday night, just before they head out for a week-long trip east. So we'll talk to you Friday night after that game.